Hello there, amazing business owners. Welcome back to another episode of Business Straight Up, the podcast for photographers and creative business owners to design the life that they love. I am so excited today to talk about something that you all know I love. Websites. We are in the middle of a website party, and today we're going to talk about the top mistakes that I see. I do free website critiques every Wednesday, and I have been seeing the same mistakes over and over and over again. I wanted to put this out there so that you can be proactive in checking these things on your websites before you submit for critique. That way we can really focus on other areas of your website. Plus, if you know that your website needs some work and you need some help, you can go through these top 5 mistakes that I see and say, does this apply to me? Chances are at least a few of them do. You might want a pen and paper for this episode. If not, you can just mark certain timestamps with whatever software you're using, do bookmarks, whatever works, and come back to it because these things will be something that you want to file away for later when you have some time to go back through. I am so excited to dive into this today with you. Let's get started. Hey there, awesome people. I am Brooke Summer, and you are listening to Business Straight Up, the podcast for creative entrepreneurs to learn, connect, grow, and build the business and life that they dream of. Welcome, let's get going and dive right in. Let's get real for just a moment here. I am going to share a very unpopular opinion in my industry, and today's episode is brought to you by Spiff Up Your Site, my website strategy course, because truly the biggest mistake that creatives and photographers make is thinking that learning another lighting technique or buying new gear or new tools or presets or software will bring them success in their business. And I get it. I did it too. New toys are always fun, right? I mean, we did that when we were little. It doesn't change. But I wanted to really make a living with my creative business and not just have fun toys. So let me ask you, does every creative business owner or photographer that runs a successful business go out and immediately buy all the new things? Of course not. If you continue to hold on to the belief that fancy gear or the next new shiny object will help, not only will you not book the clients you want and need, but you might even have to shut down your business completely and go back to working for someone else and get that dreaded job. So, how do you grow your creative business to design your life without working yourself into the ground? You start focusing on the business side of running a business. And one of those foundational elements is your website. Your website should be your business home on the internet. It is your handshake to the world and should be your best performing employee, bringing you visitors that turn into leads, that turn into dream clients. Which brings us to the big question. Do you really want to keep chasing that fancy new light that you've been eyeballing for a while? Or do you want to learn how to use your websites to book the clients that will actually pay you so that you can pay to keep your own lights on? Good question, right? Spiff Up Your Site, my website strategy course, opens for enrollment in June 2020. Do not miss out on the free class that's available. Head on over to businessstraightup.com/creative websites to register and learn the 3 things you must have to actually book clients from your website. Because it's time to say goodbye to website shame and those half-ass websites that people are always apologizing for. No more. It's time to turn your website into your best performing employee. So head on over businessstraightup.com/creative websites to learn more. Well, hello there, amazing business owners. Welcome back to another episode. I am so excited to be with you today. Thank you so much for pressing play. I know that your time is valuable and matters. And we are in the middle of a website party. If you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, check it out on Instagram and in my Facebook group. So Instagram is at Business Straight Up, and the Facebook group can be accessed through businessstraightup.com/community. Basically, we're just going through a ton of articles and resources that are website specific right now in preparation for my website class, which will be coming up on June 11th. So today we're actually going to go through the most common website mistakes that I see when I review small business websites. Every Wednesday, I offer free website reviews. I have admittedly been way behind since the pandemic started because having kids at home makes recording anything pretty difficult. They are very loud creatures, but I am planning to have them back up very soon. I will put the YouTube link in the show notes. They're all video reviews. But if you want to check it out and learn from other website reviews, or even submit your own, go to businessstraightup.com/YouTube to get directly to the channel, and you can see all of the videos that have been done so far. I am also trying to incorporate video more when it comes to my podcast. I'm not quite there yet, just because that means, let's just be real, putting on makeup and doing my hair and showering. And that doesn't always happen when I'm ready to record. Those little pockets of time when I have some quiet and I can actually record don't necessarily line up with makeup. Do you feel me? So let's chat about websites. I have done a lot of website critiques. Even before I did them in video format like I'm doing now, I have done them locally for about 10 years now. Yes, I'm old. I built my first website and blog in 2000, so 20 years ago, and it kind of overwhelms me just to say that. My son likes to tell people that I was a beta tester for Gmail, which is true. I was one of their beta testers, and I have been beta tester for a lot of various online platforms because I've been online longer than most. So why do you care? Why does that matter to you? Because I have seen a lot of websites, more than most people. And I have seen a ton of small business websites, and I've helped small business owners to tweak their websites and change them around to better reflect the awesome service or products that they provide to the world. There are a few mistakes that I see over and over and over again, and I wanted to put them all into one place for easy reference. I will probably make a part 2 episode for this, which is why I called this one part 1, because when I was making a list of the things that I wanted to cover in this episode, that list was long, and I wanted to keep this episode short and sweet, so I had to leave some out. Right now, we're all working in between kids and chaos and everything. And so sometimes these shorter episodes are a blessing, so we can listen to things quickly, like when we go to pick up groceries or go for a walk, take the dogs out. So I wanted to keep this short and sweet. We're going to start with the most common website mistakes and the biggest ones that I see regularly. Number 1, when it comes to the top website mistakes that small business owners make, is inconsistent branding throughout the website, which often bleeds into social media and other marketing as well. I know that we have done a ton of podcast episodes on branding, and I know that we're going to do more in the future. It's obviously a hot button topic that needs to be discussed because consistent branding is really that important. Seth Godin said that every interaction in any form is branding, and it is so true. Branding is the way that someone talks about you when you're not in the room, the way that you make your clients and your visitors feel, especially on your website. I know that social media is basically the cool kid in school. I get that. But your website is the reliable kid that will eventually grow up to be an amazing businessman who runs the world, or a businesswoman, and your website is the place that your brand can really shine. You don't have to be stuck to certain requirements for images or colors or face the dreaded Facebook blue when you are running your website that is attached to your brand. You don't have to hold back when it comes to your messaging or your images. You don't have to censor yourself. And for any of my boudoir photographers that might be listening, this is especially important for you. Social media changes their requirements when it comes to images all the time. One day, butt crack may be cool. The next day, it's not. And on your website, you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to censor yourself or think about those things. Your brand is the overall feel of your website, and it needs to be consistent. The consistency that is absolutely necessary when it comes to a brand starts on your website. Your website is your handshake to the world. This can include colors, logos, text, fonts, messaging, navigation, and more, and it absolutely must be consistent across the board. Having a solid website with a solid brand shows that you aren't just some random business owner who slapped up a quickie and is hoping to scam some people before moving on. And we have all seen so many of those. You can show your potential clients that you have a reliable business, that you can be trusted, and this is especially important when it comes to certain genres in specific industries. For instance, boudoir photographers, wedding photographers, newborn photographers. People want to know that when they hire you, they can trust what you tell them, and having a consistent brand reinforces your business's core values over and over and over again. For example, if you are a wedding photographer that talks about freedom to choose how someone wants their own wedding to be, and you share your own desire for freedom to just pick up and go wherever you want, you probably don't want to force someone to use a long and drawn out contact form that takes way too long to fill out because you are going against that very core value of freedom. Those types of contact forms are archaic and bullshit anyway, but even more so if you're talking about freedom and adventure. You want someone to be able to contact you in the way that they choose so that they can have the freedom to interact with you in the way that feels best for them if that is one of your core values. Another amazing example of branding that is just on point when it comes to a website actually comes from Ash Amberger. You may remember that she was on the podcast a couple months ago talking about her new book, The Middle Finger Project, on her website. And she actually doesn't have it there anymore, but she used to have a little option in the corner that said, would you like this website censored? She likes to swear a lot. I absolutely adore that about her because I do as well. So she had this option where someone could click to censor the website, but when they clicked on it, it basically said, haha, that's funny, not going to happen. And that was extremely on brand for her. These types of values and brand specific interactions should be sprinkled throughout your site and will show potential clients that you're the real deal and not some website that was slapped up by someone who wants to deceive them. Decide on your brand values, the musts, and the things that you want your brand to be known for, and make sure that they are consistent in your website first, and then in other marketing channels. All right, so number 1 was inconsistent branding. Number 2, when it comes to the top website mistakes that business owners make, is going to be poor calls to action or no calls to action. If you don't have strong calls to action on your website, you are missing out on a huge opportunity to connect with your visitors that could eventually become clients. Yes, I know that you think that someone would know what to do next, but there are so many studies and data that show that that's not the case. People need to be told how they can get in touch and how they can contact you. They need to be encouraged to make a decision. Remember, just like sales, you're not forcing someone to say yes. You're not twisting their arm or forcing them or badgering someone into purchasing from you. You're offering them the chance to make a decision. Sometimes that decision will be a no, and that's okay too. It just means that they're not your people, and letting them go will free you up to attract and connect with the people who are your ideal clients. Remember, if you don't know your ideal client extremely well, you're going to be a little fuzzy on this one. So check out episode 1 at businessstraightedup.com/001 to hear more about really getting specific on your ideal client. You need to have calls to action available on every single page of your website. Yes, I said it. Unpopular opinion, every single page. But Brooke, isn't that too much? No, it is not, because you are asking people to decide. Now, the decision might be different on every page. On one page, you might have a contact you call to action. On another, it might be an opt-in for an email list or a freebie. And on another, it might be something else entirely. And this comes down to the goals that you have for your overall website and trickling down from that, the goals that you have for each page. If you don't have any goals for your website or pages, we aren't going to go down this rabbit hole in this episode because there are so many things to consider. But you can get my video and free tutorial with a template on how to create a blueprint for your website at businessstraightedup.com/website blueprint to learn more. Putting a call to action on every single page of your website gives people a quick and easy way to go further. whether it's to contact you, read another awesome piece of content, or opt in for more information in the future. There are so many ways that you can encourage people to take the next step, and it is so important that you offer this over and over again. If you want more information on why this is so important and the psychology behind it, I will put a link in the show notes for an article that goes deeper about perceptual set theory and more psychological reasons that humans need these reminders and calls to action. If you don't want to know the why, you're like, that's way overwhelming for me, Brooke. That's cool too. But I promise you need calls to action on every single page of your website. So calls to action brings us to number 3 when it comes to the top website mistakes that small business owners make. Number 3 is unclear messaging. I see so many business owners that try to come up with fancy words or pretty ways to say something, and then they're leaving their website visitors in the dark when it comes to what they actually do. Don't tell me that you capture timeless memories. Guess what? The person that writes memoirs and authors do that too. So tell me exactly what you do. Your messaging needs to be crystal clear, and someone should know immediately what it is that you do when they visit your homepage. Do not make them click around to find it. You have less than a second to capture someone's attention when they reach your website. Do not lose them by creating work for them. People are lazy. Make things extremely clear so that they understand immediately. There are so many things that can be a part of your messaging, but to break it down into super simple terms, there are essentially 3 things that you need to have immediately on your website so that your messaging is clear. So these should be on your homepage and on other pages where appropriate. First, what you do. You need to be able to communicate with someone exactly what it is that you do. Don't make it pretty. Don't create some weird bullshit phrases that no one understands except for the people in your industry. Tell someone exactly what you do. Pretend you're talking to a 5-year-old and make it super simple. It doesn't mean it can't be creative, but be extremely clear on what you do. Second, who you serve. If you work with kids and only kids when it comes to child-specific photography, you don't want someone who's looking for professional headshots poking around on your website. It is a waste of time. It will confuse them. It's going to waste both their time and yours. They're going to contact you to ask, and it just takes you down a rabbit hole that you don't want to go down. Be clear. Tell someone exactly who you work with and who you serve. And third, why someone should pick you. Even after the first 2, if they're still in the game and they're not turned off because they're looking for exactly what you do and they fit the who do you serve bucket, remember that there are others that do the same thing. I know that as artists, no one wants to hear that. We all like to believe that our work is significant and different, but it's true. There is someone out there right now that provides the same service or makes the same product that you do most of the time. What sets you apart is you. That special gift that you offer, the thing that only you have. So what is that? What makes you different? Why should someone pick you? If you don't know this, it is absolutely worth setting aside an hour to really journal and write this out. This matters and will be a deciding factor in whether someone books with you or someone else. And this information should be readily available on your website. Clear messaging is unbelievably important and something that I see lacking in business websites. Make sure that your messaging is very, very clear. So that brings us to number 4. When it comes to the top website mistakes that small businesses make, number 4 is no opportunity to learn more or go further, especially with email marketing. And I know you're probably like, but Brooke, this episode isn't about email marketing. And I get that. But if you are not offering someone an opportunity to go further with you on your website, you are leaving someone out. You are letting go of some of the people that you could serve with that gift that you have. Last summer, I was looking for a hiking backpack. If we haven't met personally, I will just tell you I am not a small woman. I am a curvy girl. And sometimes the backpacks that are meant for the smaller size women don't really fit well. I look like a weird turtle with a tiny shell on its back when I wear some of them. And it's not really the look I'm going for, right? I wanted a backpack that fit me well, that wouldn't make me look like a weird turtle, and something that I could wear long term for long hikes. No woman likes to try something on only to learn that it won't buckle, right, ladies? So when I was searching all of this, a website came up in my search results because hooray for SEO. And I was so excited to see this website. This woman was about my size and she went through not only backpacks, but jackets and leggings and sports bras and shoes and other tools that she used that worked for her specifically for plus size or curvy women. And I was thrilled. I read everything I could. I went through her whole website. She had amazing information. And then I was like, I want to know when she puts new posts up because I want to read more. I love outdoors. I love to find out about things that will work for me specifically. But she had 0 chances on her website to opt in to learn more. I was crushed. I know it seems silly, but darn it, I wanted more information. And even though I'm pretty web savvy, I'm also someone who is focused on running 2 businesses and my family, and remembering to go back to this website later probably wasn't going to happen. I live in Colorado. Our chances to get outdoors are also very seasonal. I'm not a cold weather kind of girl. I don't like to ski. I will leave that up to the visitors. She didn't have any opt-ins. She needed to have an opt-in or an opportunity for me to get more information to go further and learn more. And because she didn't have it, I don't even remember her site now, which sucks. That's pretty disappointing because quite frankly, right now the weather's nice and I'd like to go back to that site. Could I search again? Absolutely. But again, that's creating more work for the visitor. Chances are when someone gets to your website, it's because they have likely searched for something that they need, but they may not need it right now. Maybe they're just looking right now and they'll be ready in a year or so. So how are you going to contact them in a year? Answer, if you don't have a chance to go further, you won't. And they may not get back to your website in a year when they're ready and you have now completely lost them. People want to hear from you. You're not bothering someone who has opted in and raised their hand and asked you for more information. You need to have some sort of opportunity for someone to learn more. Typically, this is best done with email marketing, but it could be something else too. Maybe you have an option for someone to connect on Instagram or even text message marketing. I have friends that use that very successfully. Email marketing is definitely proven to be one of the best ways to connect with someone who has opted in, but there are so many other options to connect after someone has been on your website. No matter what you choose, you need to make sure to have an opportunity that is very clear and easy to navigate so that someone can learn more. Get more information in the future. Learn about promotions. Learn more information for future events. Whatever it is, you are responsible for setting up that opportunity for someone. It isn't up to them. And if you don't have this on your website, especially for email marketing or others, you are not only dropping the ball when it comes to communication, but potentially losing paying clients and future revenue. Get the opt-in in place. If you're listening to this and you're like, Brooke, I want to do this, but I am so lost on how. Oh my gosh, I am overwhelmed. I have a free email marketing 101 course that is sent through email over 5 days that you can access at businessstraightedup.com/email101. And it will actually walk you through creating the opt-in for your website. It is very basic. It is a starting point. So if you've already done that, it may not be for you, but it will help you at least get to a starting place when it comes to putting in this opt-in. If you want something a little more in depth, my email marketing course From Inbox to Book Solid will be opening soon, and you can get on the wait list at inboxtobooked.com. Get the opt-in set up, in place, and running so that people who love what you do and want more information can get it easily and quickly. All right, that brings us to the last one, number 5 in the list of top website mistakes that small business owners make. And that is, I feel like we need a drum roll or something. No text on your web pages. This is a huge SEO problem. Now, I know that we were going to talk about website mistakes and you may be like, this one is SEO specific, but SEO and your website obviously go hand in hand. And I really wanted to include this one. I even debated adding it. It could kind of be its own episode entirely, and it might be in the future. But for now, it is definitely one of the top mistakes I see, so we're going for it. No text on web pages. Here's a little bit of tough love for you, okay? If you don't have any text on your web pages and you are relying on pretty images or videos of what you do or what you offer for your visitors and potential clients, you are shooting yourself in the foot when it comes to actually being found online. To be blunt, SEO requires text. It just does. Now, can images have text attached to them? Sure. Videos can too. But it doesn't replace actual text and content on your web pages. I know that you want to show off what you do and the beautiful art that you create, and I totally get that. But you cannot rely solely on that. Even if you want to put the awesome images and videos at the top and the text at the bottom, you still need to have the text. The general rule of thumb is that you need a minimum of 300 words per web page. But remember, the better quality content will win. So that might mean more, and that's okay too. Content matters. Text matters. Do not skip out on text on your web pages because you want the focus to be on pretty pictures or videos. You will be hurting your SEO in a very big way. Phew. That one was kind of short, but super important. I feel like that will be its own episode in the future because it really is that important. And I see it consistently, especially with creative business owners. I have worked with and done website critiques for makeup artists and chocolatiers and photographers. And I see this over and over again. You have to have some relevant text and content on every web page on your site to start building that SEO presence when it comes to search engines. So here we are. We've gone over the 5. Just to recap, the top 5 mistakes that I am seeing consistently on small business websites are: number 1, inconsistent branding. Number 2, poor or no calls to action. Number 3, unclear messaging. Number 4, no opt-in. And number 5, no text on your web pages. When I was preparing for this episode, I actually listed out over 20 mistakes that I'm seeing over and over again. Yikes. I'm sure there will be a follow-up episode in the future, but I wanted to get some out to you now so that you can start to correct them. And if you're like, Brooke, I am overwhelmed with all of the corrections that I need to make, and you have not listened to episode 36 on how to avoid overwhelm when it comes to website updates, head on over to businessstraightUp.com/036 so that you can put a plan into place with all these notes that you just took from this episode. Make a list, set up a plan, and start changing your website to turn it into your best performing employee. This can be done in just 20 minutes. Just do little tweaks here and there. It does not have to be a day-long project, I promise. Your website is your home on the internet, your handshake to the world. And when it is set up properly, it can be an enormous source of traffic and clients, and in turn, revenue for your business. So you have heard the top 5, and now I want to hear from you. What are some of the things that you see on websites that drive you crazy? I know one that's immediately going to come up is music that autoplays. I feel like we're going to have to talk about that in the future. That is kind of an old school website thing, and you don't see it as often anymore, but we might have to talk about that in the next episode. But I want to know what turns you off. What makes you click out of a website quickly without even perusing to learn more? Come on over to the community to let me know at businessstraightUp.com/community. I can't wait to hear your opinion. If you loved this episode, don't forget to head over to iTunes and leave a review. It only takes a few minutes, but it means the world to me and my team. And we have a special gift for you when you do. Type out the review, take a screenshot, and email it over to hello@businessstraightUp.com so that we can send you a special gift. We appreciate the review so much, so I want to thank you in advance for sharing your thoughts. Thank you so much for sharing some time with me today, for pushing play, for putting me in your ears. That sounds kind of weird, but if there's anything that I can answer when it comes to your website, email marketing, business systems, automations, all of that good stuff, I am happy to help. You can find me on Instagram at Business Straight Up, all one word, or in the community. Until next time, have an amazing day. Thank you so much for pressing play today and spending a little bit of time with me. This episode was brought to you by Spiff Up Your Site, which is opening very soon for enrollment. So don't forget to head on over to businessstraightup.com/creative websites to register for the free class and learn the 3 things that you absolutely must have on your website to actually book clients, because it's time to say goodbye to website shame and half-ass websites. So again, the place to be is businessstraightup.com/creative websites. Thank you so much for listening to Business Straight Up. I'm so glad that you could join us today. Check out the show notes for this and all of the episodes at businessstraightuppodcast.com. And I can't wait to talk with you again. Have a great day.